Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy M.K.S. Back with another video. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone managed to watch my last videos and enjoyed them. As many people as possible. Really appreciate your views and general support. And in my last video, I said if you can list anything that begins with M. And another thing that I was thinking to add to that for this video could be if you could type in the comment section, especially if you're from Asia or you know any Asian languages, what M is in each language, like in Japanese or Chinese or Hindi or Punjabi, Gujarati or whatever other language it may be across Asia, or talking about different languages across Asia and things like that, or different facts about Asian, miscellaneous facts and things like that, and that sort of thing. Anywho, getting on with the list. As I said before in my first video, oftentimes I struggle to make 30-point list, so I decided to make it even more difficult. But anyhow, I'll do my best to think of some more ideas. 31, I hope to support medical aid for parts of Asia. So here in the UK, we have like the NHS, which is paid for by taxpayers. I know I've covered this a while back in one of my videos. I can't remember exactly when, but here in the UK, we have like the NHS, which is covered by taxpayers. So if you don't, if you're really poor, you still get healthcare, but the taxpayers are forced to pay for it. So, but I was thinking if there could be some sort of philanthropies and NGOs and charities which look at how to provide cheap or even free healthcare for some of the poorest people across Asia, all over Asia. And I talked before about supporting Iraq to rebuild some of the properties, buildings and whatnot that were damaged or have been damaged during the invasion of Iraq. And maybe there could be like some of those buildings of some funding to help buildings and also training centers and facilities and things like that for people from Iraq. Maybe as some sort of recompense, if you like, for or reparations or whatever you want to call it. But people to choose to donate that money to people in Iraq who feel that Iraq was perhaps wrong, maybe, I don't know, or that they want to tackle poverty. So it could be religious groups or philanthropists, charities, NGOs, people with a strong sense of justice who feel that Iraq was wrong, people of color, Arabic people with a lot of money, or people who can just donate a little bit or whatever, but to help, like GoFundMe, crowdfunding and direct debits and things like that support such charities for people in Iraq, and as I say, across Asia, including Vietnam and China and India, and as many parts of Asia as possible. So to basically to have as many people getting medical support and assistance, Godspeed as possible, and hopefully they'll get the help they need as much as possible, all being well. Which, as I say, I hope would benefit them as much as possible in the long run as well. 32, I often have my own ideas for like movies and stories and things like that, and these notebooks I collect, and like I'd love to be able to write my stories and have Asian artists, especially ones with dyslexia and autism, draw pictures. But I'd also love to collaborate with producers and directors across Asia and share my ideas with Asian people who can help, so we can network together to make movies that will benefit Asia as much as possible. 33, I hope for music and concerts and things like that, and perhaps dances and things on YouTube and that sort of thing, to fundraise as much as possible to support as many people as possible in Asia. 34, I hope for as many possible ways as possible. Sorry, to look into all possible ways to fundraise for Asia and how that money could go towards helping the poorest people and making the most positive impact, and how encouraging Asian nations to not go to war with each other and to network together and support each other, like things with medical care and giving each other advice can actually help some of the poorest people, because they won't be spending so much money on wars and things like that. 35, again, I hope to look at how we can help and support manufacturing and making things and design and things like that across Asia, and entrepreneurship, and how to encourage banks to give more funding to support more businesses and things like that, and possibly give loans on the lowest interest rates, so that it helps entrepreneurs to pay back as well when they need to pay back, and that sort of thing. 36, I hope to hear more ideas about how to support Asia, as many ideas as possible. The more ideas, the merrier. 37, again, I hope to have like collaborations between people from the diaspora, part Asians like myself even, possibly going to Asia and discussing ideas such as how to help the Asian movie industry, music industry, and other such industries, manufacturing, and so forth, and entrepreneurship, and all sorts of things across Asia, as many projects as possible. 37, I hope to encourage people from Asia to support Serie A or Italian football and Celtic. 38, I hope to find out as much as I can about Asian companies and how to support them across Asia, and as I say, manufacturing, and buy as many things from Asia as possible to support the economy, or do whatever I can to support the economy of Asian nations. 39, I hope like people will come together and have like brainstorms where they share ideas of how to bring Asian nations together, and again diaspora, and how to encourage the diaspora to invest in Asia, and possibly people to donate, like crowdfund, and to also make it easier to send money to Asia to support projects, as like angel investors, but also people from the diaspora who are prepared to be charitable and or support people from their home countries, home nation or ancestral home nation, or their parents' nation or grandparents' nation or whatever, and possibly even not want anything in return, or like if they earn let's say someone in a Western country earns 60,000 a year, and they don't need that much. They don't. Obviously, it's their choice, but if they don't, if they think I've got some money, I could give like $5 here or there, or a tenner here or there, or every month donate a tenner or something like that, and enough people do that, then they might not make much difference to that person, but for people in Asia, like in slums and orphanages, it might help to pay for their education or medical care, or help them to play sports, like I talked about. They can play football or things like that in the future. So that little bit of money for people in the West, it might not be a lot of money but for those people, it could potentially be a lot of money, or even life-changing money for them, and could help them in the future to get training or things like that. Could improve their lives with a small investment. And again, if so many people can donate just like £1, like through direct debits, maybe £1 a week. But if like 1 million people do that, that's obviously 1 million a week. But and that can go towards funding a certain charitable group, or certain things that could pay for education or training, including in business, enterprise, or anything like that. Yeah, and that sort of thing. So I hope that will help as much as possible. Number 40, again, in the future, I might look through a dictionary and find any other words that begin with M, and again, learn about M in what different languages, like Japanese, what's M in Japanese, or things like that, and how their language is different, or that sort of thing. And I'd love to know what you think about this video. And any feedback welcome, and maybe even if you think it's cringeworthy or whatever, or my ideas were a bit mad, or if you thought they were mad but like in a quirky way, but also that was more entertaining rather than a regular video. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll share it with other people, especially from Asian backgrounds, and in particular from Asia itself, and people who are interested in supporting Asia. Peace and love.